maintaining, trying to keep everything going with this pandemic and shit going on. What you been up to though, bro? Working out and shit.
Man, today I'm just chilling, you know what I'm saying? I got some running around to do, you feel me? Then I'm probably gonna, you know what I'm saying, go hit the field later on, work out, all that type of stuff, you feel me? Just a regular little day
I feel it, bro.
today.
I feel it. What's cool though? Let's just get straight into it though. Let's get into the Josh Rice story. So, Terry, for everybody that know, I know you grew up in Chicago, but like, you know, a lot of times we see like the media perspective of it, but like for somebody that's really from there, you feel me? Like, what was that like? How was it growing up there?
I mean, definitely the media perspective, you know what I'm saying? They give off that Chicago is just oh so bad, you know what I'm saying? You can't walk down the street without getting shot, getting killed, this and this and this, and necessarily that's always not the case, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, since Chicago got a bad reputation anyway, that's what the media gonna put out, you feel me? Because that's what's gonna get all the views. Don't nobody want to see Chicago, you know what I'm saying, how we'll be helping the community, you feel me? Don't nobody want to see the athletes that's out there grinding, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But Chicago is really, maybe because I'm from there, but it's not as bad as people make it seem. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can definitely walk the streets of Chicago. Blessed and fortunate enough. And I thank God that my mom was able to, you know what I'm saying, move me out to Cali. You feel me? And I got homies, you know what I'm saying, that's from the city that it made it big, regardless if it was sports, rapping, or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But Chicago really not as bad as people make it seem, bro. It's just, you just got to know how to move. You know what I'm saying? You got to know how to maneuver in and out the city.
It's just like any other hood, I think. From what you're telling me, it seemed like you just, you know, like, I mean, of course it comes with like its treacherous parts, you feel me, the stuff you gotta watch out for, but like you said, it's mostly about watching how you move and kind of just staying out the way. So, what age did you move to Cali though? Like, how old was you when y'all made that move?
I had moved to Cali when I was 14. It was at the end of the first semester of my freshman year. I had ended up finishing up my football season out there right before basketball season had started. Me and my family ended up packing our bags, and we drove all the way over here. You know what I'm saying? We brung him all the way out here to Cali, you know what I'm saying? And then it was just really up from there. Like, I had went back to visit. It was times where I wanted to move back, you know what I'm saying? Because Cali was just so different to me. You feel me? And I wasn't even really rocking with it at first, man. I'm like, people out here, they just too nice, you feel me? Because I wasn't really used to that. You know what I'm saying? When you go more towards like the East Coast, I wouldn't necessarily say it's rude, but the way people come off is way different, you know what I'm saying, than Cali. And I was just like, man, you know, I don't really like it over here, but you feel me? I just had to I had to thug it out basically, you know what I'm saying? And it was one of the best decisions that my OG could have made for me and my siblings to come out here.
I feel it. Why you think that though? Elaborate on that. Like, why do you think that was such a great decision on her part?
I feel like it was due to the simple fact that, like, when I had came to California, I was way more focused. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, when I had came out here, I was like, all right, I'm here. First of all, I ain't know nobody to get into no trouble. You feel me? And I was just like, you know, I'm gonna just have my head in the books and all that type of stuff. And I seen like, man, I had so many guys that I was hanging out with in the city, you feel me, that ended up passing away, ended up getting shot, this and this and this, you feel me? And God forbid if I didn't move out the city, you feel me? Or if I was walking down the street and they couldn't mistake me, you know what I'm saying? Or if I was with them at the wrong place at the wrong time, you feel me? And it was just like, I kind of got a whole different outlook on life, because being from Chicago, I was basically like conditioned, you feel me? I was thinking like, okay, life is like this and it ain't nothing different. But moving to Cali and then seeing all these, I was around just so many diverse people, bro, and just seeing like so many different outlooks on life. It just kind of gave me a whole, you know what I'm saying, a whole better outlook on life. Like, all right, everything not bad in this way. You feel me? So like, I feel like it kind of helped me grow as a person more so than like an athlete.
So when did you start getting into sports though? I mean, obviously you play football now, hell of a football player. I've seen it for myself from when you was out working at Sac State. We're gonna get into that. But yeah, where did it all start though? Because I seen you know you also been hooping. I'm sure you probably did other sports, but like how'd you start getting into playing sports? You feel me?
Well, I had football was my first sport. I fell in love with football first. And I had started playing football when I was 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was driving past It's this thing. It was actually in the suburbs of Illinois, Markham, Illinois. I had drove past this thing called the Field House, and I seen all these guys out there working out. You know what I'm saying, playing football. And I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I want to play football. She was like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. And then you feel me? After that, man, went over there. I signed up. First day of practice was that day. And then, you know what I'm saying, I kind of like hit the ground running. You know what I'm saying? With football, basketball started coming around. I think I was about 10, 11 years old. You know, I had played at that same little field house. I think it was called like the Markham Warriors or something like that. I played for that little team. And then, yeah, that's basically what it was. I really didn't get into basketball for real until I moved to Cali. My sophomore year, I had moved and I had went to a basketball game. And then I was just like, man, like basketball jumping out here. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I'm gonna hop on the wave, you feel me? And then there was a point in time where football was out of my sight, bro. Like I didn't even want to go to the league. I'm like, I'm going to the NBA. I used to work out every day. I used to go to LA Fitness with the guys after school every day, man. But I remember one practice, it was just like basketball. I had to work a lot harder. Like I got to work harder than football for sure. But it was like football came a little bit more natural. You feel me? Like I kind of knew the game a little bit more natural than basketball. Then I was just like, you know what? Nah, I got to go back. You know what I'm saying? They say everything.
So did that happen? Like, did you start noticing that when you got to high school? Like, when did you officially like? I don't say make that switch because I think didn't you do both in high school? You played football and basketball. But when did you know like? Okay, like I'm good at hoop because you for sure was an athlete. I remember you was dunking on niggas and hella shit in a real game. But you feel me? Like when did you feel like when did you know that football was like gonna be the sport for you? You know what I'm saying?
All right, so I remember one practice, bro. Well, first of all, when I had moved to Cali, I had tried out for the basketball team or whatever, and then I ended up making the basketball team my freshman year. Actually, I ended up making the basketball team. I played junior varsity, and then summer league of my freshman year, I ended up playing varsity. So in my mind, I'm just like, man, maybe basketball is for me. You know what I'm saying? And when I had came into high school, bro, I was little. So that's why I really thought football was for me because I'm like, man, I'm only like 5'6". I could probably make it in football than basketball. So I ended up hitting the growth spurt. Basketball was cool. Then my sophomore year rolled around. I had got on the football team out here and stuff like that. My season was kind of shaky because I was hurt. You feel me? And then I ended up playing my sophomore year. I didn't play varsity. I had asked coach, can I play JV because I was still hurt from football season. But in practice one day, it was like, man, I had a bad practice, bro. Like I couldn't make a shot. I couldn't do nothing. You feel me? And it was just like at football practice, everything just came natural. It was like I wasn't forcing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or anything. Yeah, it was just like I was just out there. But on the basketball court, it was like I'm thinking too much. You feel me? I'm kind of hesitant with this shot. Or should I pass this? Should I go to the hole? You know what I'm saying? So after that, I just kind of got it in my head like, okay, like football really is for me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I kind of determined, you feel me, like which one I really want to go forward with.
And then, so let's get into that though. So football, how was your high school career in football? You feel me? Obviously, you feel me? You hit that growth spurt. You feel me? You had the athleticism, but like, how do you think it went overall? What was your experience like in high school?
Honestly, bro, me personally, I don't think that anybody's high school career could have got worse than mine. You feel me? Like my high school career was just horrible, bro. Like my freshman year of high school, I ended up fracturing my ankle. I was out. My sophomore year of high school, I only played it. Well, I played a few games my freshman year. Then my sophomore year of high school, I came in, I ended up straining my back because I was hooping during the season. I went to the rec, strained my back. Then my junior year, that was kind of crazy, bro, because it was my first year playing varsity. And in my mind, I was just like, I was going to a running school. You feel me? Like they wasn't a passing school. They didn't put the ball in the air. You feel me? So I was like, I want to come in and change the culture. That was in my mind. You feel me? And not knowing that we had the #1 running back in the state. You know what I'm saying? So when I came in, I'm like, I'm going to change the culture. You feel me? And the coaches gave me a shot. First game of the season, I'll never forget, bro. They gave me a shot. They had to throw the ball to me about 6 times, 0 catches. I didn't drop nothing, but it was like I jumped too early, or the ball would be over my head. The ball, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah, you feel me? So I just feel as though God was definitely humbling me. You feel me? He was just like you need to chill out, because in my mind I'm just like, I'm finna come change the culture. Like I never said that out my mouth, but like in my head I'm like, I'm finna come do this. Right. But then, I ended up they ended up moving me to defense that year. Broke my heart, bro, because like I played defense, but that's just not for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that type of cat. And season going well and stuff. We was going undefeated. We ended up playing a school called Don Lugo. I got my first catch of the season. No, it was actually my second catch of the season. I ended up fracturing my I had like a deep tissue sprain in my shoulder. I basically broke my shoulder.
So at this point, this the second injury you done went through. Like
this the third.
Oh, this the third one.
Okay. Yeah, this the third one I went through in 3 years, bro.
Sheesh.
So like at this point, I'm just like, man, like I can't catch a break. You feel me? So after that, I was out for a while. I ended up coming back for the last game of the season. Then we went to playoffs, and that was just like, man, my junior season, if we talking about defensively, yeah, and that was just horrible. You feel me? So I ended up, I finished my junior season with -2 receiving yards, bro. -2. Like, yeah. So how you
like -2 receiving yards. So how you feeling after that? Like you said, you battling injury after injury. They got you playing defense. You're not really messing with that. So at this point, it's your senior year, and it's like you still ain't showing what you know in your head that you can do. So how you feeling at this point?
Man, at this point, it's just like I prayed to God, bro. I just started getting my word, because I kind of felt myself veering off. You feel me? It was just like I became, bro, I was in a dark place. Like, I was in such a dark place, man. I was telling my mom, like, I don't know what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew that football was for me, but then at the same time, I started having doubts. I'm like, well, is this really for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm steady getting hurt, like, every year. And she was just telling me, she was like, you just really got to stay the course. You feel me? So, going into my senior season, we had like, spring practices. I had a couple schools come out, talk to me. Nevada Reno, I think his name was Coach Heimbach. He had came out, talked to my coach and stuff like that. And I had a few schools like waiting on me to be able to play that season, because we had a 7-on-7 tournament. I think that was in the summertime. It went pretty well or whatever. So my senior year, like I had said, my junior year, we didn't pass the ball at all, unless, except like the first game, and then I didn't really do nothing. You feel me? So I kind of showcased my talent going into my senior season, and my football coach, he built the whole offense around me, the whole offense. Like, everything was pass. You know what I'm saying?
So this is what you wanted from the beginning. So you finally like, okay, like this is my time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, this is my time. And within the past few years, bro, I got humble. Like, I feel like I was always humble. Like, anybody who know me, you know what I'm saying, know that I'm always humble. But going into my senior season, I'm just like, all right, man, I got to do this, because I got to make it out. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, man, we was playing in the scrimmage. Beginning of the game, I catch like a 10-yard dig. I catch it. Then I go up for a fade ball. I catch that one. I think it was like the third pass of the game or something like that, man. They had threw me a screenplay. I probably gained about 5 yards, but I run out of bounds. And as I run out of bounds, the safety come down and hit me late and break my thumb in half.
Damn.
And you feel me? So it's like, I'm like, dude, like, now, not 4 seasons in a row now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, you know what? Cool. I go to the hospital. They had told me it was broke. I already knew it was broke. You feel me? They said, you're going to be out for about 2 months. So when I had come back, we got this little rivalry game. It's called the Cat Bowl. I think it was like the 6th or the 7th game of the season, somewhere around there. And my team wanted me to play. Like, all the players, like, man, we want you to play this game. It's the rival game, man. The stands was crazy. You feel me? So I'm like, you know what? Cool. I go to the doctor that day. I get cleared the day of the game. You feel me? I'm like, forget it. I'm just gonna get cleared today. The doctor like, you sure? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Man, I get cleared the day of the game. I come back, I give my coach my papers and everything. I'm like, coach, I'm cleared. I'm ready to go. He was confused. He like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, man. I'm ready to play ball. He's like, all right, bet. Man, the game come around. I didn't play the whole game, bro. Like I went from being a star of the team to warming the bench. You feel me? Like I had warmed the bench that game, and I was hurt, bro. Like I had went home because I had in high school, bro. Like it was a girl I had a crush on. First game she came to.
Oh
I
man,
sat
you
the
sit in
bench.
the bench, so you like, damn, like not only you sit in the bench, but it's like, damn, my crush is there. She just you make me look good, you know what I'm saying? But, what do you think? What do you think was the decision behind that? Was it because he thought you wasn't ready, or was it more so like he felt like you had to work to get your spot again, like type of situation?
I feel it could have been both, bro, honestly. But I know he had told me like he was like, you just got cleared today of the game. So I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this for y'all because I really wasn't even clear, bro. Like I still had the chip in there. You feel me? Yeah. But I'm like, I'm out here, I'm trying to play for the team or whatever. And he was like, all right, stand by me the whole game. So, dude, first of all, this October, it get a little cold in October. So, bro, my thumb is like aching at this point. Yeah. You feel me? But I'm just like, it don't matter. When I get in the game, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And he didn't put me in the whole game, bro. But when the end of the game come, I think they had the ball on the 1 yard line, or they had the ball on the goal line. It was about 4th down or something like that. And if they would have scored, we had to score, or they was gonna win. You feel me? Yeah. So then, he had walked up to me, bro. I promise you, I'll never forget. I didn't play the game. I didn't get in a snap on defense or offense. They had the ball 4th down on the goal line. He walked up to me. He was like, I need you to win this game for us. I'm like, Coach. I'm like, what you mean? Like you ain't put me in the whole game. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I don't even know what I can do now. Like, I'm cold. You feel me? And then he was like, I need you to get in this game, and I need you to win this game for us if they score. So in my head, I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the sideline. Yeah, I'm warming up on the sideline. Good thing that our defense, they end up stopping them. We end up winning the game or whatever. And then the next week, we play Don Lugo. They was the best team in the league. They had, like, the best receiver in the league or whatever. And the coach came up to me, and a lot of people don't know, I quit the team in high school. Like, my senior year, I had quit the football team for this exact reason. I had came back to practice, and when I had came back to practice or whatever, we had, how they split it up, defense this way, offense this way, So as I'm running down there with the offense, he say, nah, Josh Rice, you go down there with defense. So I'm like, whoa. I'm like, Coach, what you mean? He like, nah, we don't need you on offense. We just want you to play defense for the rest of the season. I said. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, whatever's gonna make the team better, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. But in my head, bro, I'm just like, this ain't right. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so not, especially because like before the injury happened, it seemed like he was revolving everything around you. So
yeah, bro.
Like, how do you just switch? If I'm thinking from your perspective, how do you just switch it up just because I got hurt and then I try to come back and help the team? It's automatically on up stuff. Like I'll be hurt too. You feel me? Like. You seen what I could do. It's not like I can't play. You feel me? I just got hurt.
Right. Man, I'm like, for real? So he like, yeah, just go down there with the offense. I'm like, you know what, Coach, cool. I go down there, man. Go down there with the defense. I'm like, all right, cool. I go down there, and my DB coach, he say, he come up to me, say, you know what, Rice? He's like, I need you to follow. I think he was number 1. He's like, I need you to follow number 1 all game. I'm like, what do y'all think I am, bro? Yeah. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, first of all, y'all didn't play me last game. And then y'all telling me I can't play offense. Now y'all want me to follow around the best receiver in the league, bro. I'm like, you know what, Coach? I'm like, all right, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it. And then I knew I was playing basketball that season. You feel me? So then I went home that day. I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I don't even want to play football no more. I'm like, I'm done. She was like, nah, you're not done. I'm like, Mom, I'm done. Like, I'm done playing football. I texted my coach the next day. I said, Coach, I'm done. Like, I'm like, I really wish y'all the best this season. If y'all go to the playoffs, I'm rooting for y'all. I'm going to travel. But I'm like, man, I can't do this. Like, that. I really felt disrespected at that point because it's just like, all right, now y'all just using me. You feel me? Right. And I just told them, like, I'm just going to get ready for basketball season. And then I ended up quitting the team, turned in all my equipment and stuff like that. And I had went on to play basketball that season. My basketball season was actually it was a success, you know, despite like the losing record that we had due to our point guard getting hurt. I think he like tore his meniscus or something like that. Like we was winning, he got hurt, the team kind of went downhill. But yeah, man, like throughout high school, bro. So honestly, I ended high school with like -2 receiving yards in varsity. Like that's how I ended.
I would have never, even through all these years I've known you, I never knew that, and I would have never even guessed that like that. That's freaking crazy. Just knowing how good you is now, and I'm sure you was just as good then. But so then let's get into it. So you come to Sac State. That's where, you feel me, I meet you. Me and my roommate Imari, Orlando. We all, you feel me, we working out, trying to make the team there. So when you went there though, was you going in with the mindset that I'm gonna try to walk on? Like, you feel me? Like, was that the mindset, or like what was your decision going to Sac State at first?
All right, so a lot of people don't know this story, bro, and I'm pretty sure you don't know the story. So I'm gonna just flat out tell you everything. So we started school Sac State August 26th. I didn't decide that I was going to Sac State until July, like mid-July. You feel me? I had my stuff already set in for Tennessee State. I was about to buy my flight so I can be able to go out there for orientation and everything. But one morning I got a call from my personal trainer's name, Coach Henny. I got a call from him, and he told me that Coach Kelly from Sac State called Coach Esquivel and told him that they wanted to meet with me. So in my head, I'm like, okay, because anywhere I was gonna go, I was gonna walk on anyway. You feel me? Because I didn't have nothing from high school. Right. So they was I'm like Sac State want me to come play for them? So I'm like, cool. So I changed my orientation date. I changed everything. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm about to go to Sac State, and I'm just gonna do what I gotta do, right? So I get the orientation. I had orientation August 2nd and August 3rd. I get that August 2nd. Coach Kelly texted my phone and said, come to my office tomorrow before you leave. Boom. Man, I couldn't even sleep that night. I was like, man, I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to go talk to the coach, this and this and this. So August 3rd roll around, you know, at like the second day of orientation, I think you just like pick your classes and then you done. You feel me? Yeah. So I'm done, bro. So then I don't know where the football office is at. So I'm just walking around campus. But I'm like, bro, I don't even care. Like, I'm finna go, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm finna go find coach, bro. So, bam, I find the office. I get in there. He like, yo, hey, how you doing? This and this and this. Like, I'm doing good, coach. He was like, all right, you know what? Come back to my office move-in day. I'm like, what? Like,
yeah, like how it go from the 3rd or today, you feel me, to move-in day. But you like,
right,
at that point, I'm sure you still like, okay, like, whatever, I'm gonna come in that day. So, you feel me? So
that's how I would. I'm just like, cool. I'm like, he want me to come in moving day? Come in moving day. Man, I move all my stuff. Man, I don't even think I unpacked everything. I moved everything in the room, bro. I instantly left out the dorm. I walked. First of all, I got lost. I didn't even know where I was at. I'm like, man, I just gotta find the coach office. So I get there, right? So boom, I walk in there. He was like, oh, hey, buddy, how you doing? Woo, woo. So in my head, I'm like, he excited to see me. I'm about to get on this team. You feel me? So he was like, all right, this is all I need you to do. I need you to fill out your NCAA clearinghouse. I need you to pay for it. I think it's probably only like $12, $13. He's like, I need you to pay for all this stuff. And after that, he was like, we're going to move forward in the process of getting you on the team. This was before I met y'all. You feel me? So then I'm like, cool, bro. I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, coach just said I'm about to get on the team after I finish all this. You feel me? So I'm like, cool. So then I get cleared by NCAA clearinghouse. But since it was a little bit later, I had got cleared to practice. You feel me? So I hit up coach or whatever, and I'm like, hey, coach, I got cleared. No response. So I'm like, maybe he busy. You know what I'm saying? I email him. I'm like, coach, you know, I got cleared. No response. So, bro, I was so adamant of playing, I added him on Snapchat. No cap. I added him on Snap. I hit him on Snap like, coach, you know what I'm saying? I got cleared. Here's some videos of me working out. Woo. You read it? No response. So I'm like, okay. So then I walk to the office, bro. I go to the office and I go upstairs, and then I think it's a lady or a man that be like at the front of the office upstairs, you feel me, before I get to their own office or whatever. So I asked him, I said, hey, is Coach Kelly available? They was like, nah, they're in the meeting right now. So I'm like, okay. I go back again. Nobody was up there, but I just sat in the front, bro. I just sat. Don't you know the little couch right there?
Yeah.
I just sat right there on the couch, bro. And I'm listening. Man, they in the back laughing and joking. You know what I'm saying? Just laughing over there. So I'm like, cool. When they come out, I'm going to talk to them. Coach, I think it was Coach Pollock that came out. He was like, hey, like, who are you here for? And then I'm just like, I'm here to talk to Coach Kelly, you know what I'm saying, about, like, the walk-on process. And he was like, oh, we all in the meeting right now. Like, dude, like, I've been up here for 30 minutes. Y'all ain't in no meeting.
Just heard y'all. Y'all was just chopping it up, laughing and know the whole stuff.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what? Okay. So then I come in there for the last time, bro. And I was sitting on the stairs. And I was sitting on the stairs waiting to go upstairs. Coach Jody had came. And Coach Jody, like, bro, I don't know if he was mad this day. I don't know what the case was. But he was like, what are you here for? I'm here to talk to Coach Kelly. You know, he had told me when everything done with the clearinghouse stuff. Bro, before I got everything out, he was like, he can't talk to you right now. He was like, we busy. You're going to have to just come back another time. So I'm like, damn.
Man, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like Alabama or something, boy.
You feel me? I'm like, damn, okay. So then, bro, I left. But, like, at this point, I'm texting Coach Kelly. I'm calling him, bro. He leaving my messages on red. But look, like I wish I still got the emails, but like the text messages, like 10 text messages, they all read. You feel me? And bro, I ain't gonna lie, like it was nice, bro. I cried myself to sleep. I'm just like, all this stuff did happen to me in high school. Then I'm like, y'all make like, well, they didn't make me come there, but it's like, y'all was one of the only. You feel me? Like y'all reached back out to me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm here. Not nobody returning my phone calls. Y'all don't want to meet with me. None of that. And I don't know if you remember, bro. You remember we was on the field working out and they kicked us out the field.
Yeah, I remember.
You feel me? Yeah. So I'm just like, at this point, I'm steady calling my mom and my brother. I'm just like, man, like, I'm not going to give up. I'm like, I promise you I'm not going to give up because I ain't come this far to give up. You feel me? Yeah. And then finally, bro, Coach Kelly hit me back. He said, just wait to walk on trials. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, forget it. I'm just going to wait to walk on trials, right? So I got to working out, you know what I'm saying? Even on the field with y'all, working out. But sometimes me and Imari used to work out in the back of Draper at nighttime, bro. We used to sit the phone up with the flashlight, you feel me? And just work out or whatever. So then I hit Coach Kelly, bro. I promise you, I'll never forget. I hit him. I said, Coach, what do I need to walk on? He said, I don't know. I said, bro, ain't no way. I'm like, I ain't say this to him, but in my head, I'm like, you the coach.
Yeah, like how you don't know. Hey, that's crazy though, because I think that was, well, at least for us or on my end, bro. I didn't know what we needed. Like they just told us the tryout date, and that was pretty much it. You feel me?
Yeah.
So then, just on a sidetrack, I'm like, they tell us we need a physical. So I'm like, all right, I go to my doctor. I get one from Kaiser.
Yeah.
Tryout date, we got to get one from the school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, man. Like, if y'all didn't want somebody to walk on, just say that, bro. Like,
man, that's what I'm saying, bro. I hit him on what we need, coach. You know, I'm like, I'm ready. I'm locked and loaded. You feel me? He say, I don't know. I'm like, you don't know who I can talk to? He was like, go to the front desk. So I go to the front desk. The lady tell me, she say, you need to get a physical that same day, bro. I went down to the well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I went to the well, scheduled my physical. They like, all right, if I'm not mistaken, bro, walk-on trials was like March 9th or something like that. Or like March 7th. But my physical was March 5th. So I'm like, cool. 2 days before, bam. Bro, I never forget. It was the week before. Like, walk-on trials was on a Wednesday. And they had sent the email out like the last Wednesday or like the last Tuesday. And they was like, to all walk-on participants, if your physical is scheduled 2 days before walk-on tryout, you cannot try out. So I'm like, no. I'm like, ain't no way. I'm like, ain't no way. So I go to the well, I hit coach. I'm like, coach, is there anything that you can do to override this so I can be able to play this and this? No response. I go to the well. I'm like, man, you know, I'm trying to play ball. I can't, like, because they said, like, something about the sickle cell test to take, like, 2 days. Yeah. So I'm like, you know, is there anything that I can do? Can I change my appointment? oh no, there's nothing that we can do. Man, when I tell you, I cried. I called my mom. I said, Mom, come home. She was like, no, just wait. I was like, no, like I'm coming home. You feel me? I went home too. Like, I think walk-on trials was like March 9th. I ended up going home like that next month. And the only reason why I waited that long is because I was getting in contact with a Juco.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I ended up going home, bro. I'm done. My grades, I stopped going to class. I'm like, I'm here for football, bro. I'm like, but y'all gonna play me like that? I'm like, all right, bet. So then I end up going home, bro. I promise. Soon as I got to the crib, I enrolled in my Juco. I started practicing everything. Coach Kelly texted my phone and say, where were you during walk-on trials?
Oh my God! You can't be making this that's
man. Bruh, I went to go show my OG. I say, Mom, what's this? So I'm like, Coach, I asked you, what do I need? I couldn't get in for the physical, this and this. He was like, oh, okay. He was like, I understand. If you want to, you can come back. This man said you can come back and play for us in the fall, but you will have to wait till summer, you know what I'm saying, so we can get you on the team. Bruh, who you talking to, man?
Like it's a wrap now, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm like, man, I'm like, nah, I'm all good, Coach. I appreciate it. But then, bro, it was like the time that I had at Sac State, it was so fun, bro. When I even like from meeting y'all, because I had like 2 different friend groups. You feel me? I had y'all when it came to football, working out, all that type of stuff. But you know, I had my own friend group from RJ, Aaron, you feel me? When it came to like hanging out every day, coming over to the dorm, playing the game, you feel me? And I feel like it was definitely a blessing, bro, me going to Sac State because I met all y'all. And then when he had told me that in my head, I'm like, man, like, should I try it again? So I text my mom. I'm like, Mom, like, you know, I'm like, maybe I do want to go back because I'm like, man, all my guys there. You feel me? And with the college dorm experience, bro, you can meet somebody for 5 days and feel like you've been knowing them for 5 years.
Man, no cap, bro. Okay.
So, man, that was just, when he hit me, I was like, maybe I should go back. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should go. And I'm like, I'm just working a little harder, this and this and this. My mom was like, no. She was like, you're not going back. Man, I was so mad at my mama, bro. Mm-hmm. I was so mad. I'm like, you ain't gonna let me go back. You the reason why I went there. You the one who wanted me to go to Sac State, this and this. But me not going back, as far as a football decision, bro, it was a great decision because, you know, unfortunately that whole coaching staff ended up getting fired that next year.
Yeah.
You feel?
And so it's always something about like your mom know best. It's like I always like go to my mom, my best friend. I always go to her advice because I mean I think from the perspective she was looking at it was like, all right, you went up here for, you feel me, like a whole year. They didn't bullshitted your time. Like, why would you go back up there and kiss their ass when they wasted your time again? So I think that was just that motherly instinct that she had.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
So after that though, you feel me, you go to Santa Ana Junior College, right? So So what made you want to go there? And then you feel me, like what was that first season like?
So what made me want to go there, when I was in high school, in 11th grade, my big brother used to hoop at Santa Ana. Mm-hmm. So I remember I went to one of his basketball practices, and the coach, the basketball coach was like, yeah, man, you play ball? I'm like, yeah, I play football. He was like, oh, let me go introduce you to the football coach. Now, in my mind, bro, in high school, I'm like, I'm not going Juco. You feel me? Like, in my head, I told myself, I'm like, I'm not going Juco whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So he went to go introduce me to the football coach or whatever, Coach Adam Nyson. And when I went to go meet him, he was like, you know, he's like, are you talking to any schools right now? I'm like, the only school I'm talking to is Nevada. You know, this was like right before I went into my senior season. I'm like, you know, Coach Heimbach, I believe that was his name. I'm like, he just came out, you know, and spoke with me and stuff like that. And my coach was just like, he was like, look here. He was like, I promise you, if you come play Juco ball for me out of high school, he's like, I'll get you out of here in a year. I'm like, nah. You know, I'm like, nah, I'm cool. Man, everything coming full circle, bro. I was in Chick-fil-A line. I promise you, I was up in Sac. I was in Chick-fil-A line with my girl. I'm like, I'm looking for a Juco. I'm like, I don't know what Juco. Then I'm like, Coach Nyson. But I was scared to hit him up. I'm like, because, man, the man told me to come play ball for him. I said no because I was going to go somewhere else. Then I'm like, nah, I need him. You feel me? So then I'm like, what's going on, coach? First, I want to apologize. You know what I'm saying? Because I kind of, went against you. You feel me? And like, now I need you. I'm like, all I'm asking for, like, is an opportunity. You feel me? Like, I definitely show gratitude. You feel me? If I get this opportunity, he was like, you know what? I'm gonna give you a call. Call me. I sent him all my transcripts and all that type of stuff. And he told me over the phone, the year before I got there, 2017, it was a guy named Devin Jackson. He was an All-American wide receiver. So they was looking for another guy to come in, with the receiving core that they had. And they was like, we just looking for guys to come in, you feel me, so we can be able to complement that spot. So he was like, we believe that, you can probably come in and help us out. So I'm like, you know what, coach, thank you. Then he was like, come at the end of the semester. I'm like, coach, I'm trying to come now. I'm not trying to wait. I'm trying to come now. He was like, if you come at the end of the semester, it'll be better for you in the long run. So I'm like, coach, I understand that, but I want to come now. And the reason why I said I want to go now is because my grades went from all A's and B's to all D's. Because after I found out that I couldn't walk home, I'm like, I'm done with class. You feel me? So he was like, you know what? Drop all your classes and come down. I'm like, cool. Dropped all my classes, quit my job because everybody know I worked at KFC. I quit my job, you know what I'm saying? Went down, man. And when I first got down there, bro, it was like I repeated high school. Like, I got hurt. I pulled my right hamstring at first, right? So I was out for a little while. I'm like, I'm going to just chill. I'm like, I'm not going to come back. But then I went to practice, and then I see everybody else working out. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to come back early. Came back early, bro. In spring, I went up. I ran a corner route. The linebacker tackled me out the air, bro. It's spring ball. We don't got pads on the Juco.
Yeah.
You feel me? He tackled me out the air. I fall. I break my shoulder again. I break my collarbone. So at this point, I'm like, dude, ain't no way. I'm like, bro, I finally get a chance. And, man, like, spring ball was going amazing, bro. Like, I definitely give God the glory, bro, because spring ball, like, I kind of shocked myself. I'm like, man, like, I ain't played ball in so long, So then I come back. Good thing that I ended up breaking my collarbone at the end of spring ball. We had a month to, to rest and all that, like, dead period. So I came back in July. When I come back in July, my shoulder healed. I never forget, man. We was in the weight room squatting heavy this day. Come out, I think we were doing routes on air, bro. I had ran a fade ball. I tried to open up, tore my hamstring, tore my left one. So then I'm like, I call my daddy at this point because I don't really call my pops for now I call my pops for everything, but I call my real dad and I'm just like, I'm done. I'm like, I can't do this. I've been getting hurt since I was 13, 14 years old. I'm like, I finally got a chance. I sprained this hamstring. I break my shoulder. I break my clavicle. Then I'm like, I tear my left hamstring. So then, I try to come back, bro. I tore my hamstring like twice, like no cap. Like, bro, it was just so tough. And then it was like I was the butt of the joke in the training office. You feel me? Because everybody used to come in with hamstring problems or whatever. And I was the only one that tore my hamstring. Yeah. And what kind of tweaked me out was everybody on the team that season had a hamstring problem, bro. But I was the only one who couldn't come back. You feel me? Like, one of my homies, his name's Sam. He ended up going Division I as well. He messed up his hamstring just as bad, bro. But he ended up playing game one. You feel me? And I tried to come back to practice, bro. I never forget, man. I tried to come back to practice, messed it up again. So then I asked, they had brung out the doctor from the baseball team, the Angels, because they stadium is like right around the way. So they brung in that doctor, and I asked the doctor, I'm like, can I medical red shirt? Because I use my red shirt at Sac State. You feel me? So I'm like, can I medical red shirt? They like, this is really no reason to medical red shirt. You just got to let it heal. You feel me? So I'm like, okay. So I end up, it was week 3. I go to practice, and they wrap my hamstring or whatever. And I remember I had went up for a fade ball. At this point, bro, I went from starting in spring ball to 8th on the depth chart.
Ooh.
8th.
You got to work all the way back up to where you were.
Yes. Bro, I was so hurt. I'm just like, bro, it's not one thing, it's another. So I was on scout team. I didn't even get a chance to run with the offense. Like, I was on scout team. So I'm like, you know what? God gave me the opportunity to be able to come out here and show what I got to do. I'm going to do it. So I remember I went up for a fade ball in the end zone. I catch it. I come down on my left leg, and I pop my hamstring again. You feel me? So then the trainer was like, you good? I'm like, I'm straight. I ain't even tell nobody that I heard it again, bro. I'm like, I'm good. So I end up playing my first game week 3. And that was probably, bro, one of the worst experiences of my life, bro. Like, my confidence was so in the floor that when I got on the field, dude, like, I was running the wrong route. I wasn't running fast because I was so
your mental was fucked up at the time.
Yes, bro. Like, everything was messed up. And I went out there before the game. I'm like, it's this, you know, the fentanyl, right? So they got fentanyl pain patches, and I put it on my hamstring. Because in my head, I'm like, I don't want to feel nothing this game. I'm like, I need to just go out here and play ball. I went out there. First of all, the game was horrible. Then on my way home, bro, it was like my body just started feeling weird. You feel me? Come to find out, I end up overdosing on medicine the day before at the game. So, bro, like, my first year at Santa Ana, up until game 5, it was just horrible. You feel me? And then game 5, I got my first college catch, bro. And then, you feel me, it was like, man, I just hit the ground running after that. You feel me?
So let's talk about that, though, because going through all of that, I think that mostly, like, it showed your resiliency, bro. Like, it ain't too many people that can take injury after injury after injury, then setback, and then get injured again and still come back. So, you feel me? It showed not only was you humble, but you feel me, you had heart, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't got that in this sport. And then, you feel me, you come back the next year, you know what I'm saying? And this was the year where I was like, okay, you feel me? Like, you feel me? I'm peeping it throughout the whole, you feel me, time, just trying to peep, like, where my nigga gonna go. I'm like, he gonna go get one regardless, but then you start showing out. I'm like, all right, this the Josh I know, you know what I'm saying? You played 9 games in 2019, had 47 catches, 729 yards, and 10 tugs. And then, you feel me, you starting to get offered and all of that. So how does that finally feel to, like, after all the losses that it felt like you was taking, how did it feel to, like, take a dub? You feel me? Like,
man, it felt good, bro. Like, honestly, it felt so good, man. And all I could do, bro, just give God the glory, because it's just like, man, I couldn't do this without him. All the stuff that I went through, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, my second year at Santa Ana, bro, it wasn't even all gravy. You know what I'm saying? I had went spring ball. I had sprained every ligament in my ankle in spring ball at Santa Ana, you know, in 2019. And then I'm like, but when I was getting hurt, it was like something in my mind telling me that you're gonna get over this. You feel me? So, like, I didn't take no injuries before a season to the heart. You feel me? So then after that, you know, I started putting on some weight. But right before the season, like my girl, you feel me, she was pregnant and all that type of stuff. And I had told my coach, I'm like, it was like I had went through like a mini depression. You feel me? Like, I had told my coach, I'm like, Coach, I think I want to give up ball. But it was really no reason for me to, you feel me? Because fall camp was going good, you know. But I told him, like, Coach, I think I just want to give up ball. This is right before scrimmage. And he was like, why? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm just not feeling it. And it was just so many injuries happening around me, bro. Like, my tight end tore his Achilles, the running back tore his patella tendon. Like, everybody's getting hurt. I'm just like, Coach, like, I ain't feeling this. You feel me? So he was like, you got to understand that it's not about you no more. He was like, you got to find your why in everything now, because if you was doing anything for you, you would have been stopped. You feel me? Then I'm just like, you know what? I'm like, you right. You feel me? And after that, season went good, man. Like, the whole recruiting process, man, I thought I was humble. The recruiting process humble you on a whole different level. You feel me? because I went from my first offer was a D2 school. I think it was like Central. It was Central something. It was like an orange school or whatever. And that was my first offer, man. I'm just like, cool. I'm like, I'll go D2, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm not even tripping. I'm like, I just want to play ball. You feel me? So then I got my first FBS offer from UMass, you know, and they had called me. And, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I was in the back cleaning up after my dogs, bro. Like, and then they called my phone. Man, I dropped everything. I'm like, is this real?
Yeah.
You feel me? I'm like, ain't no way I'm on the phone with you, man, bro. I'm like, okay. So you feel me? I'm trying to hold my composure. Mm-hmm. So they like, at the end of the conversation, they're like, oh man, you know, we want to give you an offer because we like the way you play ball and you play it the right way. So I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I can't wait to go post this, bro. Yeah. I was like, man, I just got my first FBS offer. You feel me, man? I'm just thanking God, bro. And then the first month, I was like #1 receiver in Southern California. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And my quarterback, he ended up, you know, unfortunately, he had tore his ACL. And it was the same ACL he tore in high school. So it wasn't him. It wasn't no coming back that season. You feel me? So after that, you know, we was dealing with quarterback problems. Like the second string quarterback, he had hurt his shoulder. Third and fourth string quarterback had to play. You feel me? So, excuse me, it was just so much adversity that I was facing. You feel me? Then when it felt like something was going right, it was like I kind of took 2 steps back. I think it was the 5th game of the season, bro. Right before the 5th game of the season, on that Saturday we had the game. On that Wednesday, my girl had gave birth to my baby. We ended up losing the baby at birth 2-3 days before the game. You feel me? So it was just like, okay, what's really going on at this point? I'm like, I'm playing ball good. I got the offers, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, now, why did this happen? After that happened, bro, I went back into a depression. I was at #1. I dropped all the way to #9. You feel me? I went from, bro, USC came to a game, had a visit at UCLA. It was so many different schools hitting up my personal trainers about me, like Boise State, schools in the Mountain West. Bro, Sac State came out to watch a practice, and they was about to offer me, bro. But it was like, man, after that happened, bro, I don't even think I had a 100-yard game after that. Like, I was still scoring. Like, I had 2 touchdowns here, 1 touchdown. But, like, bro, like, my mind was just not in the game of football. You feel me? And it was like, I'm just like, man, like, what's going on? And all of those schools, bro, like, I had Syracuse fly out to California, and they came to the school and met with me. And in my head, bro, I'm like, bro, when I seen the facility, I'm like, dude, I don't care what other school talks to me. I'm like, I'm going to New York. You feel me? I'm like, I'm going to New York to play ball, man. But that humbled me, bro, because it was like, when you get the accolades, when you get to where you need to be, you got to put your foot on the pedal even harder. You feel me?
Yep.
Because I kind of let up a little bit. I'm like, I'm finally here. I finally got the office. I'm finally playing. People finally know who Josh Rice is. So I'm like, maybe I ain't got to work that hard. You feel me? And as I was, you know what I'm saying, as I kind of like pulled back, you had guys from like Zelly, you know, Imari homie Zelly. Yep. And I was #1, Zelly was #2, and it was this other guy #3. And like, bro, I could just see, like, I went to a few games and watched him, and it was like, bro, you would think he was unranked the way that he played. You know, it seemed like he was trying to get to #1. You feel me? But he was already top 3 in the state, right, in Southern California. You feel me? And that kind of stood out to me. I'm just like, that's what I should have did. You know what I'm saying? And I was blessed and fortunate enough to still go Division I. But man, all of the big time schools from UCLA, Syracuse, UMass, I had hit up UMass. I was like, all right, I want to go. You feel me? They was like, you can come, but we don't want to trip you. So I'm like, okay, I'm not coming. You're crazy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, everything worked out good for me. You feel me? But I feel as though if I kept my foot on the pedal, bro, and I just kept going, you feel me? I could have went bigger. But I feel like I'm what God want me to be right now. you
Yeah,
know. So
it's all up to him, man. It's all a process that you've seen like throughout your whole career. He put you in situations to humble you and only make you a better man. You know what I'm saying? But what finally went into that decision of going to Jackson State? You know what I'm saying? Like, what made you? What was the turning point to where you was like, okay, this is the right school for me?
okay, so in 2018, I always wanted to go to Jackson State, man. This is a guy named Ken Clark. We follow each other on Twitter since 2018, and I hit him up, man. I'm like, I want to go to Jackson, you know. And he was like, all right, man, you know, we gonna see what's going on. We gonna push your film, all that type of stuff. So Jackson didn't end up offering me, bro, until November of 2019. You feel me? So like I wasn't even in contact with them.
Yeah.
So then, you know, I had all the other offers or whatever. Honestly, me going to Jackson State, I was like, I'm not going there. They didn't even offer me at first. You feel me? So I'm just like, even though I really want to go there, I'm like, I don't got the offer. I'm not going. So I finally got the offer from Jackson State. So I'm like, man, it's like you want something so bad until you get it, and then you start thinking of everything that can go wrong. You feel me? So like, I'm like, when I first got the offer, man, I had just left out of the OBGYN office. You feel me? We had got the ultrasound for the baby and everything. I get in the car, I'm like, oh man, I just I got the offer from Jackson. I'm like, we good. So then after that, I'm thinking, I'm like, man, do people go to the league from Jackson? Not everything kind of registering. I'm like, man, like I wanted to do NFL scouts, look at HBCUs, like do they look at the SWAC? You feel me? Then I go to the FCS conference, and I see that the SWAC is like at the bottom. So I'm like, man, like I want to go big time, but at the same time, bro, I take a step back. I'm like, dude, you got an opportunity, take wherever you can go. You know what I'm saying? So everybody who knew, I was big on Albany, bro. Like I was about to go to Albany. I went on a visit, and Coach Gattuso, you know, I told him right before I left, he was like, so what you want to do? I'm like, man, I want to commit right now. He's like, but I was like, my mom told me not to. You feel me? She was like, don't commit right now. Wait till you go to Jackson. So, man, when I went to Albany, bro, when I say the facilities was beautiful, like, bro, New York is just beautiful, bro. So I'm like, that's where I want to go. You feel me? But one thing, they took us on the field and they took us inside of the box. And we look over the field and they had like a recap of the season. And as the other players were watching the recap, I was looking at the field, bro. And it's like, you know, the way I grew up, my real father, he a pastor. You feel me? So, like, I try to visualize myself doing everything before I do it. I couldn't see myself on that field. You feel me? And it was like, I'm looking, I'm just like, it's irritating me at this point because I'm like, I want to commit right now. You feel me? I'm like, but I can't see myself on this field. I don't want to make the wrong decision. Because at this point, man, I got 2 years to get to the league. You feel me? So I go, then I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to go to Jackson. I told him I did because my real pops had went to Jackson with me. So I'm like, Pops, I don't even know if I want to go down there because I want to go to Albany so bad. He was like, well, let's go. We're going to see if we like it. And then he was like, if you don't like it, just commit to Albany. So I'm like, cool. So I get on the flight, you know, I go down to Jackson or whatever. When I first got down there, I felt like I was back in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't like it's beautiful and all the lights is New York, you feel me? But I felt at home. You know what I'm saying? It was like, this feel more real to me. Like everything else had felt like, it was like, you know, we gonna show you everything that we gonna give you at Jackson. It was just like, this what we got. You feel me? So when I got there, man, we went to this hibachi place, and you know, Coach TC Taylor had came in, and we was talking, and then, bro, at the end of the conversation, I'm just like, this one I want to be. I ain't even see the field. I ain't put on no uniform. I ain't even take a tour of the school, bro. But I'm like, just off the conversation, I wasn't talking to him. Like, I was talking to him, yes sir, no sir, but I felt as if I was talking to my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was natural, bro. Like, I can talk to him just like this. I ain't got to put on no front. You feel me? And after that, man, you know, we had went to the field and we had put on the pads and stuff. And bro, I took a picture with no sock. I had ankle socks on with no gloves. You feel me? But at Albany, I had everything from the sleeves to the gloves to the socks, you know what I'm saying, to everything. But when I went to Jackson, it was like this feel real to me. Like this feel, you know what I'm saying? It's like a culture, bro. I felt like I was at home, you know?
Yeah.
And then, man, I stepped on the field, dog, and it was just like I just seen myself on the field, bro. Like I just seen myself making plays, you know. I could see the crowd, you feel me? And man, the atmosphere in Jackson, bro, is crazy. Like they average like 33,000 fans a game.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
what's up.
So it's just like in the rich history that went on that field, man. Walter Payton went to that school.
Yep, Walter
You feel
Payton.
me? Jerry Rice played on that field, I believe. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's so much history in my mind. I'm like, I want to be a part of that. You feel me? So I had told my mom, and I had told my family and stuff, and my shorty, I'm just like, I think this is where I want to be. You feel me? But I really don't make decisions until I pray about it. So that night, I'm just like, God, I pray that you show me, you speak to me or something. Just give me the idea that if this is where I'm supposed to be, let me know. Man, I woke up that morning. I told coach, I said, I walked in the office because, you know, you got to have like the exit meetings and stuff like that. I walked in the office. I said, coach, I'm ready to sign right now. I'm like, I'm about to commit. You know what I'm saying? Because when I woke up, I'm just like this is where I'm supposed to be. You feel me? And that's just, you know, that's how that whole decision had happened. You feel me? I had went in there and he was like, so, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to let us know if you want to commit later on? I'm like, coach, I'm letting you know right now. Like, I'm committing today. You feel me?
Right.
So, man, I thank God that it really wasn't even as tough as I made it. I'm just like, I don't know where to go. You feel me? But as soon as I prayed about it and weighed all my options, bro, regardless if the SWAC wasn't as good as the CAA conference, it's still an opportunity to get to the league. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how I went about that decision.
That's what's up, man. Well, man, I'm looking forward. Unfortunately, I know we probably won't have a season this year. You know, I'm looking forward to the next season when all this pandemic stuff is over. I know my boy gonna ball. Man,
sure.
you've been working for it. Great story, bro. Great story, bro. I was glad I could have you. I'm glad we could have you on here, bro. And when this all over, we got to do it in person, man. We gotta get this live and ready, especially after that season. I know you're gonna have, bro.
Blessings, my boy. I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. We out of here, man. Champ Talk.
I am my boy. Yes, sir.